All right, so we just had a pretty stupid moment. We got on to this whole intro about how we didn't know what we were going to podcast today about, but we didn't want to just do one this week after doing so many the last few weeks, and we're like, so what are we going to talk about? And it was really long and drawn out, and then we were like, oh wait, we're supposed to do a mail call podcast.
We are, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
New addition to the channel, so easy to forget.
It is.
So we got a full sack today?
Yeah, we got a full sack. I love how you corrected it there. You're like, do we have a full sack today? And before I can respond, full mail sack.
Well, I mean, mail sack really doesn't sound that much better.
Yeah, we've got a full mail.
Lots of letters,
we do.
Lots of,
before we start, I'm Justin.
And I'm JP.
That's JP. I'm Justin. Yeah. Sometimes I think people get us mixed up just because they can't see us, so it's easy to do. You just do it, just voices. That they hear. But what we're doing is this is a mail call podcast. And, every week we're going to do one of these on Wednesday or Thursday. And under this podcast, leave your questions for next week. It's just the easiest way. Sometimes we can go through other videos and try to get them, but it's just harder, especially weeks like last week when the last few weeks when we put out 3, 4, 5 videos. It's a little bit harder to gather everything, so we just say, hey, each week, put your questions for next week under this week's mail call. So if you have any questions for next week, make sure to throw them in the comment section of this video, and we'll get to them next week. But so we are going to answer some of your questions from last week's. And like I said, we're not going to be able to do anything tomorrow because both of us on our respective FM morning shows have a lot going on. I've got 2 interviews. JP's going to be out doing a live broadcast
Breakfast
somewhere
bonanza,
else. So.
Baby, come on down for the best country cooking around. I don't really talk like that on the radio.
I love how you're geared. It sounded good, though.
Was that good? Was that all right?
That was very good. Yeah, maybe you should start. Yeah,
they always feed me for free, and man, that spicy little waitress. Anyway,
part of the job.
Yeah.
Wait, the spicy waitress or the feeding you, or do those two go in together?
Well, hopefully she'll feed me, and hopefully we'll coordinate a love attack.
Good job for not making that as dirty as you normally make things.
I was getting ready.
Are you trying to
spilling the batter?
Man.
Talking about male ejaculant, but I'm not going there anymore.
I'm so proud of you.
I'm not going to be a dirty pug.
Sometimes we appreciate the dirty pug part of you.
Sometimes, but it needs to be organic.
Sometimes you downright gross us out, but other times we do appreciate it. But so let's get this going. Let's see. Okay. So returning question asker Rain DeVos, one of the two, says, if you could bring a character who died back to the show, who would it be? Can I guess your answer before you say it?
You probably already know.
Can I get? Are you ready? It's going to be Merle.
Yeah, of course, it's going to be Merle.
That would be. I knew it, man.
Or if nothing else, at the very least, Merle's hand. Kind of like It from the Addams Family.
Or no, not even It. Remember that movie Idle Hands, where that guy's hand? Remember that? Yeah,
that was such a great movie. I forgot about that.
It's just Merle's hand running around and
giving people the finger, like putting his pinky up girls' butts. Just stuff Merle would do.
And hopefully, wait, rewind. I was adjusting volume when you said that. Did we just say pinkies up girls' butts?
I think that's something Merle would be doing. I mean, I'm sorry. Maybe, what, you think it'd be the thumb? I don't know.
How would it determine?
I'm not saying I want to do that to the waitress at the diner tomorrow. I'm just saying that I think that's something Merle would be doing.
There's
you can hear me now?
No, I could hear you. I'm talking about there's the perv stuff.
No, is no perv stuff.
I mean,
I'm talking about
go
Merle.
for it, man.
I'm talking about Merle. He's a kinky dude. What do you want me to say?
Merle probably is a kinky guy. I mean, we know that he's just rife with STDs apparently.
Yeah, I think that like Daryl is so asexual because Merle is so what's a good word? Uber sexual.
Like you think that's what happened is Merle's just sexual overdrive just kind of got Daryl to where he's just like, sex.
I think so, man. I think it's kind of like with me growing up, all the adults smoke cigarettes. So now I'm super grossed out by cigarettes, never even touched one. So I think it's like a similar sort of thing.
You're very right. It could be.
But yeah, I'd bring back Merle. Or Merle's hand.
That's a really tough question because I would probably say Merle just because it'd be very interesting to see how his character would have evolved. Would he have ended up being like Daryl, start off a douchebag and kind of become a beloved member of the group? Or would he have, stayed? Because we saw some development in him. I mean, he gave his life for everybody.
He died a hero.
Or more so for his brother.
And let Michonne go.
I think that he probably would. So Merle would have probably been my choice had you not have said Merle. But with that said, I don't know, man. I like the governor. I really did. I liked him as a villain. Like, I'm not saying that there weren't flaws with that storyline, but I love the governor as a villain. But that is a really tough question. I don't know, because Merle, the governor.
With the governor, man, I would like to maybe see like an Elseworlds tale, maybe like a Walking Dead TV movie, like a What If, like we've done in the past.
I wish they would do that.
Yeah, like what if the governor story arc was just, way better? Like they didn't scare them off the first time, just shooting at their feet, playing, hide and seek and stuff. That was a little whack, in my opinion.
What if the governor teamed up with Negan?
Oh, that's another good one.
Yeah.
Golly, could the two of them even coexist? I don't know.
I don't know, man. It would be a very interesting, two totally different personalities, both psycho in their own way, just totally different. I think the governor is a little bit more unhinged than Negan. I think Negan is out there, but I also think that Negan... Negan, it's an act. Like, Negan knows he's out there. Right. You know what I mean? Like, he's just having fun with it. Whereas the governor, I'm not saying he doesn't know he's out there either, but he loses control. He just goes like rabid at times, So I don't know. I'm going to wrap this question up by saying, if I could bring back one character, let's see who it would not be. It would not be Dale, even though I like Dale, but it wouldn't be Dale. It wouldn't be... I would like to say Glenn, to be honest, but I feel like Glenn's death was, as it should have been. Even Stephen Yin said he wanted that comic book, death.
Yeah, it seems like that's like a fixed point. It's kind of like Doctor Who. If you alter the wrong thing, it's going to have cataclysmic, side effects. So
right.
We can't save Glenn. We can't pull him out.
No. Okay, I know exactly who I'd bring back.
Who's it going to be?
I'm glad I thought of it. I'm sorry that it took so long, and I've probably bored you to this point, but I'm a thinker. I have to think of these things.
Thinker. What do we
Abraham.
All right.
That's who I would bring back. Of course, like I said, Merle would definitely be one of my first choices, but you took him. I would just love to see that character development. Like, where would he go? Would he end up with the Saviors? Would he stay with Rick, become one of his right-hand men like Daryl? Like, it would have been an interesting kind of... like, what if thing, but...
How would he have reacted to Sasha, zombifying or something?
Oh, yeah.
Or would Sasha have even done that if Abraham were still alive?
But Abraham, that's probably my number one choice. I absolutely love the character. He was awesome. He was tough. He was funny. He
had
was
great quips, yeah.
Yeah, he was great. I would love... And Michael Cutlett's I think, it's a lot of great... It's a lot of good and a lot of bad... comic to
casting,
yeah, and I think that he was great. Like, if you would have showed him to me before I saw him in his Abraham get up with his super red hair, and I would have probably been like, oh man, I like that guy, but I don't see him playing Abraham. But man, he nailed it. Kind of like how Dick Guerrera nails Michonne. Like that page to screen adaptation was just great. So Abraham for sure. And again, sorry it took me so long to get there.
No, you got there. That's the point.
Rain DeVos also says, thanks for answering their gun question. It's awesome to hear some real people talk about it because they're from the Netherlands and they can't own guns, I guess, there, and said that shooting a rifle is definitely on the bucket list. If you ever come to the States, just holler and maybe we'll meet you at a gun range, or in a completely safe environment, and we'll, let you go in there with the professionals and, have a good time in a completely safe way. Let's see. Ryan Owen says, got my question read, but you called me Ray. Heartbroken. Oh, man, Ryan, we're so sorry.
No, geez.
That's didn't. That's our bad. And then, of course, Ryan says, only joking, looking forward to the channel growing even more. Hey, yeah. Hashtag never forget Ray. Hey, that could be your alter ego.
Who?
Ryan? Yeah. Zombie apocalypse or something happens where he needs a alter ego.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Ray. What's his last name? That. I'm Ray Owen. No, I actually went to school with a guy named Ray Owen.
Did you really?
Cool. Yeah, really cool guy.
Got in there. Huh.
Really cool guy. Let's see. Jim Jam says, have you noticed that Michonne had a scar of an X on her back? Yes. It wasn't there before, so it has to mean something. X on Michonne back is near the kidney spleen. Rick had been stabbed near there too. Just a theory. I'm curious what it all means. I think we actually talked a little bit about that, didn't we?
A little bit. I had no clue. I don't know much about anatomy or surgery or anything. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we briefly touched on this when we did our kind of overview and discussion of the episode. I don't know, man. I don't know if... I mean, it's the Walking Dead world. I mean, even though the zombie apocalypse happened, regular things still do occur. I mean, people have kidneys can fail, and maybe she had to have a kidney removed. Maybe it wouldn't go in that way for your appendix or
I got no clue, brother.
Or your gallbladder, though, right? Like those are most people I know that have those removed. They go in through the front. That definitely looked.
Yeah, and I know nowadays they just put like 3 little holes and I guess break it apart and suck it out, which I guess they wouldn't have that technology. But
so yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. Somebody made the suggestion that maybe they had let some. That's why they're so against letting people in. They had let some people in and. Michonne woke up and one of her kidneys was gone.
Organ thieves?
Yeah.
What?
That'd be an interesting twist on the show.
What are they even doing with the organs in the Walking? Oh, man.
Going to communities and offering them to those that need them.
Making kidney pie? What's going on?
Live like kings with the organs in the Walking Dead world. Yeah. Ew. I don't know. Maybe
you don't like fried liver.
No, the only thing I use liver like chicken. I use chicken liver to fish with.
Okay, they say organ.
I'd eat it if I had to. I'd eat it if I had to, but if I have the luxury of not eating it, I'm going to stick with like a leg or a thigh or a breast.
You fry it.
I'm going to use a chicken liver to fish with. Catfish love chicken livers. But yeah, so we will see. Raven the Devious says, does anyone else think that these spinoff made-for-TV movies is AMC's way of making a quick cash grab? Also, will you guys ever do what-if scenarios again? If Rosita and Luciana were put into the governor's fight pit, who would win? Thanks again, guys.
Oh, jeez.
A lot to digest there. Number one, I do, but with Andrew Lincoln, at least I know it's going to, at least the acting is going to be on point.
Yeah, I mean, everything. I don't know how he's a cash grab on some level, but no, I mean,
that's why we watch like 5 minutes of The Walking Dead and 15 minutes of commercials.
Right. I'm very hopeful for the TV movies. I think it's a cool little thing they're doing, and we'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's not a big pile of crap.
They were when they first announced that. Man, I really wanted to make that Oprah meme where it was just like, you get a car, get a car. I wanted to take that and be like AMC, be like because they were talking about a Carol and Daryl movie. Like a Eugene movie and a Rick movie. It was just all these theories of all these movies. Like AMC being like, you get a movie. But yeah, I mean, I'm fingers crossed, man. I'm a fan of the show. It's not without its faults, definitely. But I mean, I love this little universe, so I'm excited to see what they do. So I'll definitely, be watching it, and I definitely think it is somewhat of a cash grab, but that doesn't mean we can't get some good entertainment in there.
And as for the what ifs, the off season's right around the corner. And that's lots of time to fill. So
yeah. So what ifs will be coming back like very soon,
I would imagine,
within the next few weeks. So definitely stay tuned for that. And my money between Rosita and Luciana, man, that's a tough fight. Both ladies are about the same size. I think Rosita might be a tiny little. Like a little bit smaller, and have to see them side by side. But build-wise, they're close to the same. They're both tough as nails. I'm going to go... I don't know, man. I keep wanting to say Rosita. My gut says Rosita, just because we know Rosita's a badass. She's tough. She's just... I mean, she's doesn't care. But so is Luciana, so I don't know. I need time to research that. I'm going to say Rosita now.
You're going with Rosita.
I'm going to go with Rosita right now. And then by the next Mail Call podcast next week, I'm going to go back and watch some episodes of Fear. And then I'm also going to go, watch some episodes with Rosita. And then I am going to, maybe that'll be the first what if fight. I mean, what if video. What if Rosita. But I'm going to go with Rosita now. Who are you going with?
Oh, boy. I'm just picturing it in my head. Trying to.
Stop picturing that. I know what you're picturing. We're talking about a fight to the death, not the kind of fight that you're imagining.
Like late 90s WWF.
Fill me in, though. What's happening? Give me a play-by-play.
Oh, man. It's
both are lovely ladies, so I would like a window into what you're seeing right now.
Man.
One second thought, no, I don't. That'd be weird.
Yeah.
But who are you going to give it to?
No, it's It is a tough one. It really is. I mean, I feel like Rosita, her time with Abraham, maybe she actually learned some more like tactical.
We definitely see she's got more of a military, tactical kind of advantage. I think that does
kind of give her the edge. She actually has like some.
But in this, they're fist to fist. But you're right. Yeah, maybe she learned some more. Maybe he taught her about things like pressure points and. Locks, you know what I mean? Whereas Luciana's just tough naturally, but if you're, if you're not trained,
scrappy. You got to give her that.
So we're both thinking Rosita. We'll revisit this on the next Mail Call podcast.
I think about it a lot.
I might go back and watch Fear and be like, okay, what was I thinking? There is no way Luciana would lose to Rosita. So we'll watch. Let us know, listeners, what you think in the comment section. Great question, Raven. That's the kind of stuff we're talking about. Also, Raven left 2 more comments. I'm just going to refer to you as Raven. I'm going to leave out the devious. Badass name, but I'm just going to do Raven and keep it shorter. Also, Heath's location has been confirmed. He is with the helicopter people. Jadis was seen in Heath's RV. When asked about it, Angela Kane confirmed that it was there, on purpose to hint about Heath's whereabouts. So he got taken by the helicopter people. And finally, I think the A's have to have been bitten and B's cannot be bitten. This suggests, however, that wherever the helicopter is going is almost safe to assume that they are going somewhere that does experiments. Absolutely. Maybe even looking for a cure, more than likely. Why else would she try to have Gabriel be bitten before shipping him? Yeah, That's true. That's definitely true. Jim Jams says, Negan is the only one left who knows about the helicopters. It's interesting to see if they're going to do anything about it with his storyline. That's true, but it's been like 6 years now.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, it's been like 7.5, right? Like that happened in season 8, and that was 1.5 years before season 9, and then we skipped ahead like another 5 or 6 years. So it's been a while. I don't know. I feel like he would have told somebody by now. Oh, by the way, remember that chick Jadis that you letting walk around and everything? You might want to ask her about her helicopter.
Yeah,
but maybe it was just something because they kind of bonded on that episode, right? I mean, she was gonna have him bitten and then ship him off, and he was gonna burn her pictures, and they both decided not to wrong the other, and she let him go as long as he promised to avenge her people with Simon and yada yada yada. So maybe it's one of those things. It's out of respect. Maybe Negan's just because Negan, he might be a bad. I feel like he's a man of his word, though. I mean, remember with Gabriel, until Gabriel kept trying to run and everything. Remember they had bonded in that trailer or whatever, and then when they got out, he told him, he said, take him to holding gently. Yeah. Gently, and was, gonna treat him well. So Negan is he is a man of his word for the most part. So it's like, I feel like maybe it's one of those things where it was kind of like he just felt like he didn't want to out her like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's definitely keeping it under his hat, for if it benefits him to divulge it, maybe he will. I don't know. But we'll see.
Letty Diaz says, I got a question. Which one of you is the walker on the front of your videos page with the ears on? That's neither one of us. That is a zombie from Day of the Dead. Mm-hmm. And his name is Bub.
Yeah, good movie.
That was Day of the Dead, right? You had Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. Yeah, this was Day of the Dead. This was like the second in the Dawn and Day. And
the third.
Was it the third?
Yeah.
Well, so Night of the Living Dead.
And then Dawn. And
then Dawn. Okay, I thought that was, so that's in the same universe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's not really any shared characters, but
right, cool. So yeah, Day of the Dead. It's the one where it's not the mall one; it's the one after the mall one. And Bub is a zombie that one of the scientists in the little military facility is trying to experiment on to see if maybe the zombies can show some part of like who they were, like Milton was trying to do in season 3 of The Walking Dead, where he was, with the old man and he was doing the
whole misguided notion that there's still some cognitive function. But, I mean, season 1, Morgan's wife was, finding her way back to the doorstep, back to, where they were living. So I
think that comes from different showrunners and different directions imagined for, you know what I mean? Like you had
she was a fresh walker. Well, she wasn't that fresh.
Frank Darabont was running the show then, and I think he had a different vision than like Glenn Mazzara, who took over after he left, and then obviously.
And I think with any disease, I mean, there's going to be different rates of decay, different effects on different people. So I mean, it's possible a little bit would stay in your brain more so than others. I mean, I think eventually it all just goes to pot, but
yeah. So
I don't know. Questions we may never have the
questions we may never know. But I spilled water on my pants.
Oh, jeez.
I looked down and I'm like, what is happening? I spilled coffee all over my pants earlier this morning, so it's going to be a great day. Yeah, so that's neither one of us. If you haven't seen Day of the Dead, highly recommend you check it out. Good movie. Sora says, do you watch any animes too?
I don't.
I watch Dragon Ball Z. I know that is an anime, and I know it's kind of cliche. It's like even people that aren't. But I watched Dragon Ball Z, and I did watch the first season of Attack on Titan, and I plan to continue watching. And I actually met a guy who did a voice of like a side character on that show, but not really. I like some animes. I've had friends that were really into them, and what I've watched, I've liked. I just hadn't. I've always said I wouldn't mind watching like Full Metal Alchemist. There's a few out there I wouldn't mind seeing, but as for
never delved in
Dragon Ball Z, now I'll talk to you all day about DBZ. That used to be my jam, but let's see. Lori S agrees. She says that Day of the Dead Bloodline. Okay, Bloodline is hilariously bad. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I didn't like it either. Walter White Walkers. How about that? Says Andreas Cannon. Let's see. I hope I'm saying this right. Senso the Great says, in your opinion, who is the most useless character on the show, past and present, and who could have been used more? My choices, Beth and Tara, are completely trash. Yeah, pretty much. Guy from Nebraska could have been a cool future villain, maybe ending up in Terminus, and Merle by far. Also Tyrese, but he was soft like baby shit.
Oh, God.
Let's be real. Quick comments. Anyone notice how bad Maggie was appearing in her final episode? Wow, she wasn't as sexy. I'm not going to argue with you there.
Well, Apocalypse, it's hard to maintain your standard of beauty.
So let's see. Let's get to that question, JP. Who do you think is the most useless character, past and present? And then who could have been used more? I have my answers. I want to hear your answers.
Jeez, man, that's a real thinker. I should really read these ahead of time.
You know who I think was the most useless character?
I don't. Who?
Andrea.
Oh, yeah, you hate Andrea.
Your mic sucks today. I don't know what's going on with your mic. It's very low, but then it's super loud when you get loud. I think somebody's messed with our mic settings.
Oh, geez, a saboteur, perhaps?
Perhaps. I don't know what's going on, but it's like every time you get loud, my ears are just like, ooh.
Ew.
But I think you sound a little bit better now.
Okay. Well, that's
No, you don't. You sound lower. Hey, this is a behind-the-scenes kind of deal, so, you get to say something, JP.
Say something, JP. I don't know.
Ooh, well, that's way too hot.
Way too hot?
All right, there you go.
All right.
Just know that's way too hot.
Oh, jeez.
There we go. Okay.
Should I just grab the other mic?
No, I think you're good.
I'm good? Okay.
Just if you get loud, kind of pull your head back. All right. So I think Andrea was completely useless. I think she could have been good, but I just did not like what they did with her in the show. I think comic Andrea is phenomenal. Show Andrea just sucked. Laurie Holden, the actress that played her, is fine. Like, I've seen her play other roles, and she's been great. It's not that I don't like her as an actress. I just think she was written terribly. Just my opinion. But I do have to agree with Senso here. I thought Beth was useless. Useless. Her whole storyline, like the hospital, all of that. I like Emily Kinney. Like when they were interviewing her on The Talking Dead, she seemed like the sweetest person. But I thought Beth was useless. But the most useless, in my opinion, was Andrea. And I think Tyrese could have been used so much better than he was. He was this big, beastly guy. He was having a hard time adjusting to the apocalypse. I think they could have done more with him, especially when you consider comic Tyrese was such a badass. And then Tyrese was very, very soft.
He was a gentle giant.
Yeah. I mean, in the show, in the comic, slight spoiler alert, but I mean, this is way, way past. He about beats Rick half to death. He's just a monster.
Yeah, not to mention smashing Carol, smashing Michonne.
Yeah, he was a pimp too. Yeah, he could beat Rick's ass, and he was getting with the ladies. But so I think more could have been done with Tyrese, and I think that Andrea was completely useless.
All right, I can respect that. I think Andrea like I said, I loved her season 1, season 2. Season 3, it definitely went off the rails a little bit. But, I mean, look, she was, using what she had.
You loved her in season 1 and 2?
Yeah, I liked her, man.
You loved her?
Yeah, I loved her.
I think that's a strong... You loved Andrea.
In season 3, man, she was just...
What did you love about Andrea? Look, take out her giving Shane butt, man. I know that's instantly something that's going to make you like a girl is when she's promiscuous on screen. Take the sexuality out of it. What did you like about Andrea, since you claim to love her?
She was great. She was fantastic.
Dive a little deeper.
She was smart, and she was tenacious.
You just like her because you got to see her naked from behind, and she had sex with Shane. That's the only reason why you liked Andrea.
I would have liked to have seen her stick around.
That's why, because she was the most sexual. She was very sexually active. That's why you liked Andrea.
It's the last days of the human race. I think it's the most realistic portrayal of.
Studies do show, like when in countries that have experienced like things like genocide or terrible things, that people start having sex. It's just like embedded in your subconscious to, we're in trouble, like we've got to procreate. So yes, people would be having quite a bit of sex, I believe, in the zombie apocalypse. But, you didn't like Andrea. You just liked that she was promiscuous. All right, so give us, who was useless? Who could have been used better?
Jeez, I don't know, man.
You got to give us somebody.
It's a real thinker, man.
Just throw something out. If you want to change it next podcast, you can.
Yeah, give me a pass. I'm going to think this
Nope,
one over.
Just throw one out there. You don't get a pass. Throw one out there. There's got to be a character you just did not enjoy.
I never really liked Carl that much. We'll just throw Carl in there. Yeah.
Whoa! You thought Carl was useless?
I don't.
At least he furthered the plot as far as Rick's intention.
He did.
I'm not saying he was a great actor. It would I mean, look, if you go back and find my Facebook and look back to posts from like seasons 1 through 3, there were plenty of times when I was like, would somebody just take Carl out? I'm tired of this kid. But, after about halfway through season 4, once he and Rick had their little tiff after the governor's attack on the prison, where, Carl was like, I don't need you, then realized he needed him. After that, I started liking Carl, but
I was
but he served a purpose, though.
Besides his time with Negan and him gunning down those two guys outside the prison, I was always just kind of bored with his storylines.
I could see that. I could agree with that. Yeah, I could see that. I'm a
big fan of Carl on the show.
The only reason I say he's not completely useless is because he did help to create some plot for Rick. But I do agree.
And his little walkabout with Michonne in that one episode.
Oh man, Carl and Michonne's bonding was awesome, man. That's what like season 3 when they went to Morgantown, to try and get guns, and Carl had his moment with Michonne. That was special. Then when they had it on the train tracks, it was special. And I think that might be one thing that helped me start liking Carl, because I did not like him in the beginning, but he and Michonne's bonding was really special. It felt real and it just made me love Denai Guerrero even more. So I don't know. But I could. All right, now who could have been used more? You know what? I kind of got to put a slash with mine, though. I definitely think Tyrese could have been used more. But going back to what we said earlier, I think Merle could have been used more.
Yeah, absolutely.
But who are you?
But he did have a great death. I mean,
at least his way going out was respectable.
His character arc, yeah.
So who could have been used more?
Who could have been used more? Well, Rick, I think we could have used another season with him.
Come on, give me an answer.
Oh, man, I don't know.
It's got to be somebody you can think of.
Who could have been used more? Who wasn't used enough?
That's the question.
That is the question, isn't it?
Yep. It's the exact question.
Jeez, man, I don't know. Herschel, I don't know, man.
All right, well, you think on it. At least I got one out of you.
These questions are too much for me.
Thank goodness this is like a BS podcast. Like the people that come to this know they're here to listen to us bullshit for 30 to 45 minutes. So yeah, there you go. Mine is Andrea as useless, and Tyrese could have been used more, or Merle. But like you said, at least Merle, which I like Tyrese's exit too, but I just feel like Tyrese could have done more in terms of, he could have done more with that character. I like the guy that played him. He was a likable actor, you know.
Fantastic.
Do either of y'all listen to metal music? I noticed the mailbox y'all got is the album cover for a band called Bleeding Through. I love y'all's podcast and love metal, so I thought it would be pretty cool if y'all follow metal, if you were fellow metalheads. I listen to it. I mean, I'm not, it's just, I hate saying yes or no to that because depending on who's asking, people get so butthurt. If you're like, oh yeah, I love metal, I listen to whatever, that ain't metal, or, you know what I mean? Or like, you'll be like, I love rock and roll. Like, I'm giving an example here, but you could be like, yeah, I'm going to give the worst kind of example here. You could be like, I love rock and roll, man. Nickelback's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I don't think he
can't even say that with a straight face. But it's like, you know, they'd be like, that ain't rock and roll. And you're like, well, I mean, you know, even if they suck, they still play rock and roll style. But yes, I like heavy music. I like music that has heavy riffs and screaming and yelling. And
so you are a metalhead
to an extent. Yeah,
you love the.
I like everything though, man. I like hip hop. I like metal's my favorite though. I mean, like if you were to like spy on me riding down the road in my car, odds are they would be like some heavy guitar riffs and palm muting going on.
I'm not at all really. It's too noisy.
JP's on the other side of the spectrum. Tell us about your favorite music.
I like the old crooners. I love me some Sinatra, some Dean. I like old country music. I like anything that tells a story, real melodic.
I can get down with old country music if it tells a story.
Love me some Jim Croce, some Warren Zevon.
Yeah.
You know, things of this nature.
Okay.
William Whalen, Johnny Paycheck.
You love you some Johnny Paycheck. You love the outlaw country music. That's like one of JP's.
Love Jerry Reed.
Of the country music genre, that's probably what I would say that I like the most is the outlaw. And it might be from hanging out with like you and my old friend Blake that were really into the outlaw country music. And before then, I had no interest in it. But after hearing it with you guys, it's like,
if you were getting ready to say from me and, you know, my good buddy Aaron, I was going to say a little inside. I was going to say, man.
A little inside joke there. No, Aaron likes 80s and 90s country. You know what I mean? He likes the
precursor to bro country, basically.
I can love you like that.
Yeah, what led us to the sorry state of affairs that country music is now. Anyway.
We work in radio, so I mean, we're around the stuff. I work at a rock station, JP, which the station's owned by the same people. And both studios are in the same building. So it's like JP works for the classic country station. I work for the rock station. So we're around this music all the time. Mm-hmm. All right. I am Red Herrings. He says we don't say Dwight right. He says we say Dwight. We're from the South though, man. So you gotta bear with us.
Dwight. We should be saying Dwight.
I mean, I just say it the way I've heard it repeated on The Office, right? How does Michael Scott say Dwight? Does he just say Dwight? Is that better, Red Herrings? Or let us know in the comments.
Dwight. Have we been saying
You just said Dwight. Maybe.
That's what I'm saying. Is that what we've been saying, Dwight?
Yeah, he's been saying for a while we say Dwight, not Dwight. I guess it's kind of like like you're supposed to put the D and the W together, not Dwight. You're supposed to be like Dwight.
D-A apostrophe and then W-H-I-T-E.
No, you did not. That sounds like a rap name. Dwight.
Dwight.
I'm not even going to get political. I was going to say it sounds like a rapper for like the conservatives. Dwight. the way you said
that is $1 million idea, man.
Oh, God. Don't get that going.
Try to adopt that persona.
And like I said, not get into politics. Just do right. Or if it was like the left, I would, you know. But anyways, so maybe Dwight. Like that's why when I know I have an accent, and I know you do too, because we're from the South. But when people say, "Oh, you sound like such a redneck," I'm like, "Is that right?" Because this is how I imagine rednecks sound. Like, "Oh, Dwight, how you doing?" Well, that's what a redneck sounds like to me. I just sound a little countrified, but yeah, I guess Dwight. Hopefully tell us if we're saying it right. Like, give us a pronunciation guide here. But I am Red Herring says, where is Dwight? Will we see him again in the show, or will aspects of his role in the comic book be adapted by other characters? I haven't read the comic, so maybe you might have some insights. Cheers from London, England. We love our London listeners.
No, we love
always England, period, and Netherlands. It's so
United Kingdom, all these.
Yeah, being here in America, it's so awesome, and I haven't had a chance to really travel outside of the country, so it's so cool to be having conversations with people from other countries, and I think it's awesome, man. So
we would love to do like a European tour. So if you guys want to like get a GoFundMe up,
get that going, man. I would love to do a tour. Yeah. But yes, and so slight comic spoilers here because they were directly asked for, but we've seen Dwight. We've seen Dwight. I'm now going to be so conscious about that. I know people named Dwight too, so I'm going to be real conscious when I'm like, hey, Dwight. But we've seen some of his role already been taken by Daryl. Mm-hmm. Dwight was the reluctant leader of the Saviors after All Out War. He was not happy about it. He didn't care to lead the Saviors, and that's kind of been taken on. I don't know. I've seen some people in the comment section say he'll be back at the end of the season. I've seen some people say that his story is wrapped up, but I definitely think certain parts of his story, because I think I read somewhere that Robert Kirkman was inspired to create Dwight from like parts of Daryl, the vest, all of that. So, I think it's a good chance Dwight's done, but either way, it is for sure some of his story arcs are being taken by Daryl. And what's going on right now in the comics, I could definitely see Daryl taking that role of what Dwight's up to right now. Yeah. But I am Red Herrings. Thank you so much for listening. We oh man, I went to the wrong podcast. But we appreciate you listening. Much love from America. Let's go. Oh man, we got a lot. I got to speed this up. I got to get to work.
Yeah, should we break it into two? Maybe do a part 2?
No, we won't have time to do part 2. All right, let's go. We've already done that. Man, we got a lot of really cool questions. Mail call. I've been rewatching some old episodes. This is from Jeep. And in season 6, episode 1, Heath mentioned that he had run across another community, but everyone there had died. Do you suppose it was Oceanside he was referring to? Very good possibility.
Yeah, sounds plausible.
Very good possibility. Wait, what? Jim Jams says, I'm going to try to break it up. I think we'll start picking like one question from each person. 'Cause some people put multiple questions. We'll pick like one of the questions from each each person just to speed it up a little bit. But Jim Jams says, Negan and Judith seem to have a close connection. It was nice to see young Judith with Michonne's sword and Rick's gun and Carl's hat. And the combination of characters. Will she ever get Negan's bat Lucille too? Oh, I thought you meant will she ever meet Lucille I was going to say, no, Negan's not going to kill Judith.
That'd be awful.
But I don't know. That is cool. I don't know. Maybe if Negan, I don't know. Maybe that would be really cool if she had the bat across her back. Olivia Michelle, I think, right? Olivia Michelle says, love the podcast, guys. Keep it up. Thank you. Do you plan to do podcasting for Game of Thrones Season 8? Yes.
I would like to.
Yes, we will cover Season 8 of Game of Thrones. And she says, what do you hope to see in Season 8? I don't know, but I know what I'm not ready to see, which is like all of my favorite characters die.
Yeah, I think that's probably, pretty.
I don't know. I've tried to stay away from leaks. I've tried to stay away from anything, but I'm looking for some epic action. I want a satisfying conclusion. It's one of the great. Talking about Game of Thrones, one of the greatest shows ever written. It's George R.R. Martin says that it's going to be bittersweet, and I don't know if he was referring more to the book or the show, but either way, I just want some closure. That's what I want.
The book series hasn't wrapped up.
No, I think the show is ahead of the book series.
Okay.
God, I don't know. We might see that from The Walking Dead if they keep up the pace.
Yeah, no kidding.
But yeah, so we'll see. Do you think this is from, what is this? No, wait. Guy. Oh, this is from Brad M., an Australian Walking Dead fan. Ooh. Name 5 of the dumbest things that The Walking Dead did and 5 good things. 5 dumbest things. Introduced Andrea as a character. Killed off Carl. Killed off Abraham and Glenn. They should have just killed off Glenn and left Abraham there, at least for a little while. I could have seen Abraham getting killed off, but I think it was, actually, you know what? Let me back up. Sorry. This is why I'm like JP. I like to plan things out because I'll say things and be like, oh, no, wait, I don't mean that. It really can be troubling in my relationship. But the 5 dumbest things they ever did left us on a cliffhanger with the whole who did Negan kill thing. Yeah. That was stupid. Glenn under the dumpster was incredibly stupid. Introducing Andrea and, well, just having Andrea on the show the way she was, period, was really stupid. Killing Carl was really, really stupid. And the fifth and final dumbest thing The Walking Dead has done, oh, that's tough. We got those four, and I stand by those no matter what. The cliffhanger, the fake out death, Andrea, Carl's death, and what else? What else was stupid that they did? I have to really think about that. I mean, they've done a lot of stupid stuff, but those are the main ones that come to mind. Those are my top fours. Those are what made me the maddest. I was really mad when they killed Herschel, but then when I went back and rewatched the episode, I've said it time and time again. Great episode. Yeah. Like, it sucked that he had to go, but man, what a way to go. And it really had to happen that way in order for you to get, because Michonne was new to us at that point. We hadn't really, well, we had some time with her. We showed up in season 3, whereas we had Herschel from season 2, and we were getting to know Michonne pretty well, whereas we had already gotten pretty comfortable with Herschel, and he was the sweet moral compass. Michonne was the badass. If she would have died, she's a warrior. She'd have died like a warrior, so it would have sucked. But, so it had to happen with Herschel the way it did, and but I hated that when it happened, but now I accept it. Yeah. Any other stupid thing? Those were mine. I mean, feel free to throw in there, man. I just know that you like to plan.
That sounds pretty...
I'll think on the fifth thing, and if I come up with something else. 5 good things that they did. Cast Andrew Lincoln. Cast Denai Guerrera. It's like, I'm trying to think of the great things that they've done. That'd be a good list. You know what? We'll make a list of that.
Yeah, let's come back to that.
Let's make a separate podcast just for that one question. And then we are running out of time. Unfortunately, we have to go back to work. I'm sorry. So we'll try to end this with a question. Brian Akim says, how and why are there still so many saviors left? Haven't hundreds died from the war? It feels endless. You're right. I've often wondered, where do they get this just endless supply of saviors? Yeah. But there were a lot. That's why they were such a threat, was because Negan's... Well, in the comic, wasn't there only like 50 of them or something?
I can't remember, man.
But that's what made them, so dangerous, was the fact that they had so many people. Otherwise...
And there were a lot of civilians and a lot of, soldiers. I mean, it was a big group all together. So.
But, that definitely should be dwindling out. I mean, especially after Carol did what she did last episode.
No kidding.
The Savior should definitely be dwindling out. It's cool to see Laura, Barcode, as we were calling her. She's at the table. But I love how she's sitting at the table all high and mighty, helping judge people. And it's like... You were one of Negan's top guy. Not saying she was a horrible person, but we didn't see. We learned what a rat did. We've seen a rat kill people pretty much without any kind of hesitation for Negan. Whereas I think Laura was just more of kind of a foot soldier and stuff like that. And I don't know if we've actually seen. I have to go back and rewatch. I don't remember actually seeing her straight up murder anybody. That at a time when she wasn't following orders, where a rat might have been following orders, but she just seemed a lot more cruel about it. I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, so I kind of laughed at that. I'm like, well, number one, if you're judging somebody that's been in prison, like Laura, I don't know if she's been in prison or not, but she's done some pretty terrible things herself. So if you can forgive her, you might could forgive, Magna for going to prison for something you don't. I mean, it could have just been like tax evasion or fraud or something simple. But which I know they say hard time, but so that's going to wrap it up. Again, any questions you may have, please leave them in the comment section. Just hashtag a mail call, and we will make sure to get them next week. Again, we try to do these on Wednesday and or on Thursdays, just depending. But get those questions under there and try to ask as many as you want, but if you want one particular one answered more than others, try to save the other ones for other mail call videos and because like I said, what we'll start doing to move this thing along a little bit faster and get everybody's question is we'll start doing one from each person. So just put the question you want answered the most, and actually that'll be a cool video. Maybe we'll sit down and write that, and then we'll make a video about 5 of the worst mistakes The Walking Dead's made, 5 of the stupidest things The Walking Dead's done, and 5 of the best things that they've done. So, we'll think about that. But we will see you on Monday this time. This one will not be late for a review of Season 9, Episode 7 of The Walking Dead.
That's right. Season's dwindling. They're the top half of the season's dwindling down.
So sad.
We'll see you Monday with that.
I'm Justin.
And I'm JP.
And we're the Podcasting Dead.
Sure are.